Tom Garrett said, best wild card weekend I can remember. What a league. I was thinking this morning, I was like, which one was better? Because we get so wrapped up in the moment. I mean, even Sunday Night Football, which felt the most distant, it never felt like the game was completely out of hand.
No, it wasn't until the Hunter Henry touchdown where you're like, okay, they're done. But it was a one-score game up until
even when Drake May had that fumble at the end, I'm like, oh, they have a chance, and they didn't recover it. So, but yeah, it was awesome. We're going to recap all the wild card weekend, and let's start with an absolute thriller. That was Packers-Bears. As you see the fantasy performances here, Jordan Love actually the leader with 30 fantasy points, and Romeo Doubs was phenomenal in this game. But you see Colston Loveland right there with 23.7 points. He was amazing in this game. Shout out to Colston Loveland, Connor, because I have to tell you something. Nothing in this game made sense to me except for Colston Loveland. The one thing that happened in this game that I was like, I expected, and it did happen, which was Colston Loveland, third straight game with at least 20 or more fantasy points. He's had 4 games this year where he's seen at least 7 targets. He's had over 20 fantasy points in all of them. Keith Jackson in 1988, the only rookie tight end to have more receiving yards in a playoff game than Colston Loveland over the weekend as well. And so, I mean, you just see here from Next Gen Stats. Yeah, from 6 minutes and 51 seconds in the second quarter to 2 minutes and 59 seconds in the fourth, the Bears' win probability never exceeded 25%, reaching a minimum of 3%. The Bears have recorded 2 of the 8 most unlikely comebacks of the season against their division rivals, of course, Week 16, and in this game in the wild card round. And we got to hear from the man that got the game ball in this one in Colston Loveland.
So thankful, and to be here, and for all you guys, I'm proud of everyone here. But that's we got to keep this thing rolling. Let's enjoy the out of this though. Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Yeah, so the next gen stat, the win probability, that's after each player's concluded. I will say, as Caleb Williams was about to get sacked on that 4th and 8 in real time, I think that the Bears' odds of winning that game probably were realistically 1,000 to 1, because just the odds of converting that play were so astronomical. But that was, I mean, of all the games, that was the one where it really did feel completely done. When the Packers went up like 21-3, and it wasn't so much, like you figured, oh yeah, the Bears might get rolling on offense. I just didn't feel like they were going to be able to stop the Packers with that defense.
Right.
And they did a little bit, but they got some help with some missed field goals and missed kicks, but that was the one that was so jarring.
Well, the weird thing to me also is because they've been in this situation before. This actually was their 7th fourth quarter comeback of the year. But to your point about like never being able to get going, like the reason I thought it, I don't have a stat for this, but it felt like every effing bounce didn't go their way. Like 3 different fumbles where you're like, oh, they've got a shot. Yeah. Oh, and then it bounces back to the Packers. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think about like that offensive lineman, like that was the craziest one, right? They finally get a stop, oh, here, they have the turnover. It was a turnover, I think, and you know what I'm talking about.
When they didn't score eventually.
They didn't. Yeah, the Bears go down. Packers. I forget how the Packers got the ball in that particular instance, but the Packers were in their own red zone. Yeah. Right, and they throw a tackle tackle eligible play, and I forget the name of the lineman, but the lineman, he's running, and there's a fumble, trucks somebody, but it's a fumble, and it's just there, and there's like 4 Bears around it, and none of them come up with it. It rolls out of bounds.
Somebody dove on it, and the ball went flying, exploded off of him. That did feel like everybody's shoulder slump. Like, you gotta be
we finally
kidding.
got a shot, and so it just was like it's not their night, man. Like the ball is just not bouncing their way. I am surprised that the Bears gave the game ball to Colston Loveland and not Brandon McManus, who missed 2 field goals and an extra point in a 4-point game, right? He missed 7 points in a 4-point game as well. Neck Brace Nation saying McManus the clear 7-point difference. There's no question about it. Like Packers announcing Matt LaFleur will return. They have not done the same around Brandon McManus. Yeah. Do you think they let him on the plane? I mean, that's just a tough day. I mean, not to make I feel bad for the guy, but like,
you got to make the kicks.
I mean, that's bad.
That was a mess. Also, but the last one he missed, I think, was in large part because they inexplicably took the delay of game, that pushed them back 5 yards, which I think might have made the difference between the kick going in or not. And that was the one thing as I think unfair as it might have been for LaFleur to get fired off of that game, where if the kicker just makes the kicks, they win the game and no one's talking about Matt LaFleur's job security. I do think the Packers, they completely butchered the management towards the end of the game. The last drive, I think they had like 96 seconds and a timeout. There's plenty of time. and they just weren't able to manage the game effectively at all. They had like a 2-yard screen pass to Josh Jacobs where he was like, oh yeah, 30 seconds of the game is just gone because of this. Like, it just felt like they imploded a little.
It's been all year, though.
Yeah.
They've done this all year. You think back to the Cowboys game.
Yeah.
They were in control of, I feel like, 6 different games this year that they did not close out the game. So it was kind of like everybody's storyline of the season was magnified on Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert sawed in half because the offensive line couldn't protect him.
Yep.
The Eagles' offense dysfunctional in the second half, magnified in the loss to the Niners.
Yeah.
So like it's
Matthew Stafford clutch down the stretch.
so it
right?
is bigger than like the kicker missing the kicks is the story, but this is who Green Bay unfortunately was for multiple parts of this season.
Yeah, I agree. Medici, of course, nails it as he always does here.
Loveland is such a physical freak. It's hard to tell the difference between him and Barry. I mixed them up all the time.
All the time.
They were both at the NFL Combine last year, and it was
human beings.
created a lot of problems.
This is
identity
true.
problems.
I walked in the building. Security was like, "Hi, Mr. Loveland," and I'm like, "No,
Matthew
it's
Barry.
me, Matthew." Oh, I'm so sorry. And they were like, "Great game, Colston." I'm like, "No, seriously, it's me, Matty."
How many tight ends are you taking over him next year?
How many tight ends? I'm definitely taking Trey McBride.
And Bowers.
And I'm definitely taking Brock Bowers, assuming Geno is not back as the starting quarterback, and I can't imagine there. But that's the list of tight ends that you're definitely taking ahead of him. Like, you want to make an argument for Tyler Warren? Sure. Right. And, now that we know that George Kittle won't be back. And
Tucker Kraft?
Tucker Kraft, potentially, if you knew he was fully healthy. Like, he's in that conversation. But, like, there's not anyone that you feel like I'm definitely taking this guy over that person. Like, depending on what happens with the Chargers, Gadsden, I think is going to be in that mix. But yeah, I cannot imagine that 5 tight ends get drafted this year and Colston Loveland isn't one of them.
Who has to sign Kyle Pitts?
Right. I mean, somebody, right? I mean, it's
Chiefs?
Kyle Pitts is your number 2 fantasy tight end on the season, right? Yeah, if Kyle Pitts goes there, I mean, if Isaiah Likely goes to the Chiefs, that's a rumor as well. Like, so he's in that mix. Like, you would immediately if you knew Isaiah Likely was on the Chiefs, like,
it's a combo.
I
love it.
Assuming Travis Kelce retires, but whatever. I mean, whether he's tight end 3, 4, 5, whatever, Colston Loveland is a absolute freaking stud. And as you see it there, NFL Plus tweeting out Colston Loveland, the first rookie tight end to have 8 receptions and 100 yards in a playoff game in NFL history. #DaBears.
Yeah, I think the other thing with Loveland, too, is that he has immense upside. 1, because he's just so young and he'll get better. And then 2, he also has huge upside just with his quarterback improving. Like, Caleb Williams, I think, was sub 60% completion percentage this year. The upside that Caleb has, he hasn't put it all together yet. He's going to get better. Like, he will not. I don't think that he will flatline or get worse. And so there's just that upside that, Caleb Williams is a guy who we expect is going to be finishing on MVP ballots the rest of his career. And we haven't really seen the actualized version of that guy yet.
Yeah, I mean, and second year in Ben Johnson's offense. This was the first draft pick. Colston Loveland was the first draft pick of the Ben Johnson era, right? So, I mean, you sort of think about a coaching staff or a new regime basically saying, like, the first chance we got, here's the guy we're going out and grabbing. When I say that the game didn't play out at all, I mean, like, I wasn't surprised that the Bears ultimately won, right? But you didn't think they'd get down that bad and they were that brutal. But Matthew Golden, who's been you sort of like, all right, well, that guy, kind of written him off, and then Matthew Golden breakout game.
Yeah, it makes a fantastic play off the screen, making a lot of guys miss to get into the end zone. But the reaction can't be, well, this is it. The reaction is, this is the game with Green Bay's wide receiver room.
Yeah.
And Romeo Doubs was amazing in this game. Romeo Doubs is a free agent, so maybe that elevates Matthew Golden going into next year. But as a pass catcher room, they are incredibly difficult to figure out week after week.
Yeah, and there was different stuff for Matthew Golden, right? So he has the screen pass. He's a deep threat. The 4th and 7, the out route, for the season on the line, if Jordan Love went to Matthew Golden and he hauled it in. The issue is just there's just so many human beings on this offense. Love was throwing deep to Jaden Reed with the game on the line. Dobbs has one of the best games of his career. Christian Watson was the guy that everyone thought was going to be the guy. Christian Watson got an all-pro vote, and he was relatively unsighted compared to the other guys. So unless they consolidate that receiver room, I don't think any of these guys are particularly appetizing in fantasy.
Yeah, disappointed in Josh Jacobs, friend of the show. Josh Jacobs, 20 touches, under 60 total yards. Like, I thought he would have had a big game. It's playoffs. He'd been rested a few weeks as well. So, unbelievable game. It was an incredible finish. Congratulations to the Bears, who next week will host the Rams at Soldier Field. It'll be interesting. The last thing here I'll say, just on this particular game is that I don't understand the Ben Johnson, like, just, F the Packers. Like, it's sort of like.
It's madman. I love it.
I mean, like.
Everybody has their,
things
that kind of fires them up.
I guess so. I guess so. Anyway, I was surprised. I was surprised they immediately went so quickly to bring in LaFleur back. Because Schefter floated the trial balloon like, hey,
12
heads
hours
up,
later, he's coming back.
Harbaugh might want to come there. Heads up.
Yep.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.